welcome back. Glad you could join me. We got issues, man. We got issues. You know, we took our truck in for service on Monday. It had to stay the night a couple of nights. They had to order a part in and install it, all that good stuff, and unfortunately those issues have found itself yet once again back in the works of the truck here. So I've hauled some loads, did some work. Is that light gonna turn? Yep, I knew it would. Easy, easy, easy. I knew it would. All these lights around here do that. They are not delayed at all well for trucks. Being right by a port, you'd think it would be, but no. The moment a car or anybody pulls up to it, it just shuts you down. Oversized load coming behind us. He just had the joy of having to grab that big pedal in the middle there just a moment ago. Anyway, we're about out of hours. We've got today left, and I'm gonna take the truck and go have it worked on during our restart. Just seems to make the most sense. You know, I'm not gonna be driving the truck for a couple days anyway. It's just gonna be sitting in the yard, so might as well take it to go have it worked on. I don't know if we'll get a loaner coming out of there or if I need to have my wife come get me. That's kind of to be determined. But that's the unfortunate side to trucking, you know? Sometimes things break. Sometimes when you think you got it fixed, either another problem will rear its ugly head, or, you know, the original hypothesis with all of the information that you have just isn't quite it, and that happens, you know. I've also got an issue with my clutch pedal. The clutch is great. It's only like 18 or 20,000 miles on the clutch. Let's call it a brand new clutch. But the pedal, for some reason, it'll shove down and then just hit a wall. You have to kind of pump it a couple times, then it'll finally go the rest of the way down. And just started doing that yesterday whenever I was pulling into the port to shut down for the night, and it's still doing it. So we'll have them address that, see what that's all about. I don't know if it's some kind of a rod or something in there that's bent. I've heard, I called a buddy last night and was asking him, and he said maybe it's one of those clutch springs, but it's a new clutch. We hadn't been hard on it, so I don't know. Stuff breaks, but hopefully they'll be able to at least address the clutch. The check engine light, what they figured out with it is it's a temperature sensor for the DEF tank. Yeah, that's right. Stupid DEF. So that stuff is almost like water, and whenever it gets cold outside, it wants to kick the heater on. Well, that's what's not working. It's either the temperature sensor or the heater or something. One of the two is not working. And so that's what the alarms and bells and whistles for. The other video was, it was 41 degrees out, and it was basically alarming me like, hey, stupid, this isn't gonna work. You're gonna freeze your death. You might wanna park this thing and get it fixed. But I've got a 1 o'clock appointment, and it's county facility, so, you know, trust me, they're gonna take their lunch. So there's no point in me getting there early, because I would sit there for 45 minutes before we get there. Originally it was slated, I think, to be a pump load. This is a pump trailer, and they do have a silo for it to be pumped into, but she said that they changed their mind and that they're gonna go ahead and put it in their distributor truck, which is great for me. I'd really rather not deal with a pump load today, but you know, we'll do what we got to do. It's extra money if we get it, but it makes a mess every time, you know. So we'll see what comes of that once we get there. Other than that, I think we'll get up here, we'll get a bite to eat, and yeah, you can check in with me once we get down the road a little ways. Well, the shop foreman just called me as I went to break and said, yeah, they can handle that. They can get it in and get it taken care of over my restart. So that's great news. We'll be able to deal with it accordingly then, and let them massage on her a little bit. She's been pretty finicky, you know. She's been a picky girl. I shouldn't say she's a girl. Maybe she's a guy. Maybe she's like me, kind of picky, kind of. I'm way more picky than my wife is, that's for sure. I wouldn't say picky per se as much as, oh gosh, what would be the word for it? I wouldn't call it picky. What would you say it is, babe? You insert your comment there. I'll leave it to you. Anyway, now I just got to figure out if I need my wife to come pick me up or if they're going to have me take a truck out of there. We'll text him here in a little bit and see what he wants me to do on that front, because it won't matter until I get this load off and get this trailer back to the yard, and that's looking like probably, I don't know, we're just going to guesstimate at 3 o'clock, so I wouldn't even be able to get to the yard there at Chandler until, call it 4:30. So at that point, I know my wife will be free with her day, and she'd be able to come pick me up. She's got something to take the boy to, the oldest boy, and then she's free this afternoon. But you know, they've got, call it personal vehicles at the yard for you to drive sometimes, but that's mainly for those that like come into the yard, they might get an oil change that day, or they're just going to be there for a little while. You know, you got a little pickup or 3 that are sitting in that yard there that you can jump into and run into town. You know, you can go grocery shopping at the Walmart, you can, you know, go out to eat, you can, you know, do whatever you need to do, go run an errand or something, which is fantastic. It's great to have those. That's a huge asset. I mean, I've used one. I had to run to Atwoods one night and get some, you know, some FR clothes, and worked out great. So anyway, we'll find out if we'll take one of those. But again, those are kind of meant to stay around there. They're not meant to disappear for days. Usually it'll be his call. You know, he kind of runs that yard, and you know, he'll tell me what I need to drive, or you know, if it makes most sense for my wife to come get me, I'll ask him that, and he can let me know. It's no big deal either way. Kind of a windy, ornery road. It's Highway 11 up through Osage Reservation. The windy part's not the bad part. The bad part is the right-hand side of the road keeps like having this little dip down, this fall off, like the road is kind of falling out. Man, it gets this thing kind of rocking and rolling, you know. We're easing right across here, about 35 minutes left to go till we get to our destination, and this load is only around 2,700 gallons. It's a partial load, so it's fighting me all the way. I'd rather it be completely loaded, to be honest with you. Wouldn't have near the surge or the instability to it. You know, when it's fully loaded, you know what it's going to do. It's going to be heavy, of course, but you know when the surge will happen and kind of how much and all that. With this, it's all over the place. And with this road kind of, I hope that you can pick it up on camera, but the road is smooth, but it is just completely rutted out, and then on the side, right on the edge, it's just got this drop, like the earth is falling out underneath it or something. It just needs to be redone. All right, coming into Barnsdall. Annual Big Heart Day, the Saturday before Memorial Day. It's a big thing, I guess. I've never been, but I hear it's pretty big. I like these old towns. These old buildings could talk, you know? Getting her haircut out on the deck. Old artillery piece. Just an old little town. Not much to it. Pahuska was a hardware store or something I used to deliver to. This was it. Yep, this was it. I used to pull around and come right up that road right there and unload right there. It was the Bucking Pawn Shop, but way back when it was a hardware store. It was a mom and pop hardware store. It's the unfortunate side to some of these small businesses in these small towns, you know, is they go by the wayside of big box stores quite often. Easy. Right down here, I believe, is her store. The Pioneer Woman store. Usually in the mornings there's a line out in front of it. Pretty cool old town. We're going right up here on the right. It looks like about another quarter mile. Never been to this facility. I've delivered propane just on the west end of town here, but I've never been here to this county yard. Looks at Google Maps, there's like 3 driveways, and there's a pretty good sized driveway that I'm going to try to find myself into. Well, that's where this map says it's supposed to be, but I don't think we're there yet. I think it's right up here on the right. It says Osage County District number 1. This is it. Here's that big driveway I was talking about right here. I have no idea where this is supposed to go, so we're gonna have to check in with somebody and find out. Distributor was going to pull from us or what we're doing here. I'm going here and find out. I guess we're gonna chase this old boy up the road here. Not sure how far we're supposed to go, but we're going. Got them all in a big fat hurry. Well, let's chase this old boy here for a little while, and we'll see what we end up with. Well, we didn't go too far at all. We went like a mile and a half. Of course, you can barely see his turn signal. Looks like they've been doing some chip sealing up here, which means we're in the right spot. This might even be part of Drummond Ranch right here. Like I said, it's just in the west end of town. We turned before I would have been able to see the white pipe fence or the thing over the driveway that says Drummond Ranch, but I know they've got a lot of head of cattle and a lot of dirt to put them on. I think they own dirt on both sides of the road, actually, both sides of, I think it's Highway 60. A couple of bored cows. Alright, looks like he's got another plan here. Looks like this is about going to be where he wants me. Yep, he's jumping out of the truck. Let's find out here. Well, so this old boy says we should be able to come up here, hang a left on the road he's driving on. That's the distributor there that was pulling from us. Should be able to hang a left, back in across the road. He said there's a gate open over here, and then we'll come back this way. So he says we will see. We shall see. I guess they're gonna have a full load come up here tomorrow, but this is the wild thing. They're spraying the road and people are driving on it. That's wild to me. All right. The gate is open, he said. That's all right. That's sketchy at best is what that is. Fresh oil, 10 miles per hour. Yikes. The good thing is we're not going that way. Hopefully we're not going to get our truck lost in the abyss back here either. There's a gate that's back there and it's open, but not open 100% of the way. We narrowly avoided it. further, and then we ought to be able to pull ourselves on out of here. Here we go. We're off-roading now. Try not to get our fenders caught up in that fender. Good. Yikes. Yep. Let's take this trailer onto the yard, drop it, and then bobtail this rig onto Chandler so they can start wrenching on it tomorrow. We're almost there. I can almost see it. The path to a couple of days off is right around the corner, and that is not going to help me at all. Hello. One of our safety guys said the other day, these people have been driving down this road for 20 something years. I think this company's been here for like 30, 40 years, something like that, but yet they still pull all the way up there, and then they're shocked when a truck comes. Anyway, so close, yet so far. Right up here on top of the hill. I'm gonna write a couple of things up. I'm gonna pull a couple of things out of the truck and get ready to go home for a few days. Went ahead and hitched up to the bottle. There's no point in driving bobtail up here because we can load propane in this area, and it just doesn't make any sense to come up here empty, you know, with no trailer, and then have to turn around and go right back to Tulsa to get my trailer. So anyway, here we are, back in the yard. And there's my bride and my youngest. Get off in here and get this thing parked. Somebody rode their scooter to work. Anyway, we'll get up here, we'll get this thing dropped, we'll get some stuff written up, and then we're gonna go to the house. Really, again, appreciate y'all being here. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for the likes, thank you for the subscriptions, thank you for everything. Until next time, keep it between the mayonnaise and the mustard. Take care.